Hey, hey, happy Thursday. Hi, everybody. Oops, here we go. I think we're live. Hello, hello. Today, we're going to be diving into how to use your boundaries to empower you. So, I know for many of us, we live in a world where we want to do and be a lot of things for others. And sometimes that comes at a cost. And so we're going to be talking today about how to set up boundaries, when, how to do it with love, and the tips to tell you when you really do need to set your boundaries. So, for those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Lynlee Linke. I'm a serial entrepreneur and I an author, speaker. I'm a certified neuro coach and I run a Fun Life Academy program where I help entrepreneurs learn how to have more fun and more excitement and more energy and more joy along their success journey so that they live a life of authenticity and really be extraordinary and fulfilled, feeling confident and fearless and totally unstoppable. So let's talk about these boundaries because these are very, very important because I really want your boundaries to empower you when you honor them. It's super important. So, first of all, who are boundaries for? Well, first, you know that they're for you and you alone. Nobody can set boundaries for you, and you don't set boundaries for others. You set boundaries for you. That's the bottom line. This is all about you and honoring your own personal boundaries. So, and of course we want it to be healthy, but what is a boundary for, right? It's to keep you safe and to keep you comfortable and to keep you in a space that makes you feel good and confident. Because interestingly enough, while as an entrepreneur and people who are high achievers and goal getters and success driven, we always want to push ourselves outside of our safety zone. But in this instance, this is about your own personal, honoring your own personal safety. And there's many areas of boundaries that need to be set. One of the first ones is physical. So you can have a physical boundary, like somebody's in your space and that might make you uncomfortable and you need to know where that is so that if someone's crossing the line, you know to push back. Which is something simple as a physical state. Another one is a sexual state. Only you can determine what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with, or what you will and will not allow. That's all up to you. Spiritual, of course, if you have a some type of religious thing you do on a regular basis, let's say you meditate, or let's say you go to church on Sunday, or you have your Bible time, or you pray before a meal, or you pray at night before you go to bed. All these things are up to you, and you get to decide when and how to do that, and you don't have to sacrifice that for anybody. I do encourage you to honor others' beliefs as well, of course. Time. Well, we all have the same time in the day, but what we do with our time is up to us. So if we decide at 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm not going to do any more work or take any more calls or do things like that, or at a certain time, I'm going to go exercise or what have you. Again, that's totally up to me on how I choose to live by my clock. Emotional is another one. So there's a lot of feelings that come up when it comes to boundaries and when you feel you need boundaries. And there are certain places and certain circumstances that you're around that you may always evoke feelings, and you may choose not to be in those circumstances or not to be around those people because of that. So emotions are another one. Financial. Nobody can tell you what to do or not to do with your money. Don't let anyone take you to a place of spending or even a place of saving if it's not where you want to be. It's up to you, and it's based on what you want to do with your own financial situation. And of course, there's the non-negotiables. And for me, that is honesty. I'm always brutally honest, but I'm always very honest. That's for me, for my character. Don't ask me to lie for you. Another one is for me is infidelity. Don't be doing that, right? Those are firm boundaries. They're non-negotiables for me. And you can set yours for you as well. So how do you know when you need to set boundaries? Well, where are you feeling? Like, where do you hit up against problems? Where do you hit up against issues? When maybe do you feel discomfort or frustration when you're with certain people or in a certain circumstance? That's a key right there that you probably need to set a boundary for that. Or maybe when you're around a certain person or you know things keep coming up that you're feeling a little resentful towards. Maybe that's where a boundary needs to be had. Are you always exhausted or run down? Perhaps you're overcommitting too much, saying yes when you should be saying yes to yourself and no to them. What if you just feel a overwhelming low self-esteem or low self-worth or just not having enough confidence? All of those are areas to know that I need to set clear boundaries. And one of the things I had done recently is I had sent an email with tips for how to set and honor your boundaries. And I got a lot of response for that. So I thought I would just reiterate those tips for you here and maybe dive a little bit deeper into them. But I don't want to take up too much time on this because I know you could hone in on this a lot. And my favorite person to listen to or read books on is Henry Cloud. He's got some great information on boundaries, and I think I get emails from him all the time. And so I went to a workshop where his crew presented, and it was some great information. So if you really want to hone in your boundary skills, I think Henry Cloud is a great place to start. So one of the things I want you, tip number one, is to get really clear on what it is you want and what it is you don't want, and be able to express that very, very clear. So establish and express your boundaries clearly. And before that, maybe even write them down. Because if you write them down, they seem more legit, they seem more real. You'll remember it a little bit better because that's how the brain works. And hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable. And if you're not maybe a little uncomfortable with it at first, you might even need to get a friend to hold you accountable. Say, hey, I'm setting this boundary and I really want to stick to it. I want to be accountable to myself, but I also need someone else to be accountable to. In fact, in Fun Life Academy program, when we're going through things like this, by making sure you have the clear vision on where you're going to go and the things that are stopping you and holding you back and where you need to set those boundaries, that's one of the very first things we do. Accountability is huge. So I have an accountability partner, and I encourage you to have that as well. So we try to make sure you have accountability in Fun Life Academy after you're clear on your visions for your future. So remember, only you can establish them. Make sure you write them down and make sure you get clear on what it is and clear on expressing them. Next, step number two, be direct. Be very direct with your request and make sure that you follow through. So setting and communicating clear goals, identify them, writing them down, expressing them in a very direct and clear-cut manner will totally help you be taken seriously, because people know that what you say is true and that if you have a boundary, it's going to be taken seriously. And I think that that's really important because they know you're going to follow through on it. So make sure that you're direct and that you follow through. They always say what the fortune is in the follow-up, right? May not be so much with boundaries, but yeah, I think so. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is for you for setting your boundaries. And it's important to start small if you need to. So it might seem a little intimidating at first, perhaps, to set a huge boundary with somebody or with a circumstance or something like that. So just start small and start being a little more assertive in those small things and work your way up to the bigger ones. Step three, reject the request, not the person. So just remember, when you're setting your boundaries, this is for you, this is for your health, this is for your well-being. This is so that you can achieve what you want to achieve in life. This is not for anyone else. You only set boundaries for you. And it's not about the person. So when you say no to somebody, and so you don't overcommit, get run down, like a lot of us do at times, you are not saying no to that person. You're saying no to what they need from you at that time. And what you're saying is yes to you. So sometimes it takes a no to somebody else to have that yes for yourself. And this doesn't have to be rude. This doesn't have to be in a deceitful way. It could just be very blatant. No, thanks. I'm sorry. I can't do that right now. I've already overcommitted myself to do something else. It might even be, do something for yourself. They don't need to know all the details, right? You're just saying, no, no, thanks you, but I would love to, maybe I can connect you with somebody or something. Do it in a nice way. Even if you don't really like that person, if they ask something, if you just be polite and be kind, because in that manner, you will be true to you. And that's all that matters. Because I really want you to be empowered when you honor your boundaries. So I hope you go and think about this and go set you some boundaries where you need to set them and write them down, be accountable. If I can help you in Fun Life Academy, get clear on those. I'm offering free strategy session just to hone in on that vision, hone in on where it is you might need to set boundaries and help keep you accountable. Let me know, just direct message me and I will set up a strategy call for you. Or you can go onto my website at lynleelinke.com, go to a discovery call and book your appointment. It's free. Bye.